Good afternoon, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the afternoon weather update. We typically do these during the weekdays, but we do have that first alert in effect for this evening. So I did want to hop on here really quick and just kind of give an overview again, a little update on what we're expecting for tonight and what's currently happening out there right now. So we do still have that alert in effect for this evening and into tonight, maybe even a little bit into the overnight hours. We're expecting some scattered showers and thunderstorms to move through, some of which may become strong to severe, capable of producing those damaging wind gusts and maybe even a brief tornado. Can't be completely ruled out. And of course, with any heavy rain, there is always that possibility of some minor flooding issues. So let's get right into what we're looking at on our radar right now. We have some of those showers and storms mainly off to our west. A lot of this is actually associated with kind of a warm front that has developed just north of the tri-state. So as that front lifts to the north, we may see a few spotty showers pop up here through southern Illinois and maybe right along the Wabash River for the next couple of hours. Then I think around dinner time, we're going to enter a little bit of a lull as we await the actual main line of showers and storms to move through for tonight. So currently not really raining anywhere during the heart of the tri-state, but we do have a few of those showers now pushing up through Wayne County and into Fairfield. So nothing severe at this current time. The only severe warning out here on our radar is back in southeastern Missouri, just out towards Perryville, but nothing here in the tri-state just yet. It is fairly quiet, but again, we are picking up on some of those spotty downpours that are just developing there in southern Illinois, mainly through Wayne, Edwards, and Wabash County. Now, looking at our future radar, again, we could continue to see a few spotty showers develop here through the course of the afternoon, but by around dinner time, I think we'll enter a little bit of a lull here as we await that main line. That main line kind of gets its act together off to our west by around 6 o'clock, entering the St. Louis area. But then it's really not until after 8 p.m. at this point that that main line is going to start to push in from the west through southern Illinois. And it looks like it'll start to push into the Evansville area sometime between 10 o'clock and midnight tonight, and then eventually clearing the area off to our east between 1 and 2 o'clock this morning. Now, I do think the main severe weather threat would be ending around midnight. Once that leading edge kind of punches in here first, at least in the west, I think that is going to maybe use up a little bit of that fuel. And of course, as the daylight sets on us here, we do lose a little bit of that instability. So I don't think the severe weather threat lingers much longer past midnight tonight. So hopefully some folks don't really have to stay awake in anxiety waiting for these storms to move through. But we are going to expect at least some thunder and lightning here into the overnight hours. And then once that main line clears, we'll have a few lingering showers through early Sunday morning, but that will clear out through the afternoon and we'll actually see a return of some sunshine. So taking a look at the actual risk across the tri-state here, not much has changed since yesterday. We're still looking at those level 1 and 2 threats across the tri-state. So isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms are expected, but widespread severe weather is not expected here. And taking a look at each individual risk, our main risk here is going to be the threat for some damaging wind gusts, but we do have that isolated risk for maybe a brief tornado as that line moves through. And what has trended a little bit better for us is that flooding threat has kind of remained off to our northwest, or at least northwest of Evansville. Isolated flooding possible through southern Illinois, but maybe not as big as of a deal as what we thought a few days ago. So those are kind of the general updates we're expecting here. And looking at our rainfall amounts through this weekend, many of us could pick up at least a half an inch to an inch, with some pockets closer to 2 inches, especially with any heavier downpours that do develop. So that is pretty much the lowdown on everything. I do want to go over it all again because I know people are going to be joining at several points throughout the stream. So I'm going to take a look at your comments and see if I can answer any individual questions for you. Beth has some great advice. Just stay alert and be safe, everyone. That's very good advice. You know, we're not here to scare you or anything like that. This is a fairly low-end severe weather risk, so it's not like a big springtime severe weather outbreak that we're expecting, but it is the first alert that we haven't had in a while, so I know a lot of folks are going to be paying attention to it. All right, how will the storms be? Because I have really bad storm anxiety. So the storms, I'm not expecting them, like I said, to be anything particularly intense. Of course, any thunderstorm can be pretty scary, especially if you haven't had one in a long time. But yeah, we're looking at more of your typical severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, not anything too crazy here. So I wouldn't say that they would be too bad, but still something you need to prepare for and stay alert. And in the event you are placed under a warning, making sure that you have your plan in place so that you can get to safety. All right, so I am just going to go run through all the information I just went through over again. I know we have a lot more people that have joined in the last 5 minutes, so I'll do my little spiel one more time here, and then I'll send you guys off, and I'll see you guys later on the shows. But looking at that first alert again, Saturday, that is today, that's going to be through tonight. Again, we could catch a few of those straggling showers as that warm front lifts to our north this afternoon, but that main line really not moving in until after it seems like 8 o'clock tonight through southern Illinois, probably not pushing into the Evansville area until between 10 and midnight. Here's a current look at our Doppler radar. Most of the shower activity is well off to our west, but we are picking up on a few downpours lifting up through Wayne County primarily right now. But the rest of the tri-state is fairly dry. We could continue to see, again, a few of these pop-up showers lift to our north, mainly in southern Illinois, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still saw a few of them lift up and along the Wabash River there over the next few hours. But timing everything out here, I think once we get to around dinner time, we enter a little bit of a lull as we await that actual main line of storms. That starts to get its act together over the St. Louis area by around 6, 7 o'clock tonight, and it doesn't really push into our viewing area until after 8 p.m. And then here it is lining up pretty much along the I-69 corridor between 10 o'clock and midnight tonight. And then eventually we'll continue to push off to the east after around 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. So it does linger a little bit into the overnight hours. And then after that main line passes, we'll have a few lingering showers through the early morning of Sunday with some cloud cover. And then we're actually going to gradually clear out and dry out through the afternoon with some pretty gusty winds out of the west-northwest, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. And here's a look at that overall storm risk again. We're not expecting widespread severe weather, but a few severe thunderstorm warnings and even a tornado warning can't be completely ruled out here in the tri-state. It still looks like the best chances for severe weather is off to our southwest, especially through states like Arkansas. But looking at each individual risk here, main hazard going to be that risk for some damaging wind gusts. That's where we have that level 1 and 2 threat. We have that level 1 threat for a brief tornado. So still something you got to keep in mind. And then looking at our flooding risk, it does look like that has gotten a little bit better for most of us. It still keeps that isolated chance for flash flooding off to the northwest of Evansville, whereas previously it kind of highlighted everybody in that risk. So maybe not seeing those storms moving over the same areas as what we were thinking a few days ago, but still looking at that potential for some damaging wind gusts and even a brief tornado. So that is kind of the lowdown there again. I am going to check out the comments one more time. I'm going to see if I can answer anything for you. It looks like someone says it's delayed the planes. Jessica talking about maybe some airport delays and troubles there. And that's all I'm really seeing. So I'm not seeing too many questions. That's good. Hopefully I've explained everything well enough, and hopefully I'm not scaring anyone. My goal is to just prepare you and just give you a quick little update on what's headed our way. Again, we're not expecting anything out of the ordinary in terms of severe weather here. We are at that level 1 and 2 risk, so more isolated opportunity for severe weather, not necessarily a widespread outbreak, but I do want you guys to still be prepared and have a plan in place in the event you are placed under a warning. So I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 6 for all your news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great rest of your evening.